Well, businesses in Oakland's Chinatown are fed up and fighting back over fines they're receiving from the city to clean up graffiti. They believe both the city and county need to do a better job of holding the taggers accountable for their actions and not the business owners. NBC's Pete Serratos has the details.
The Juan Key supermarket in Oakland's Chinatown is one of many businesses dealing with a graffiti problem, and it's up to them to clean it up. If they don't, they can face steep fines.
We are the victims. Yeah, so it's not my fault.
Shirley Liu is the manager of the market and says the business now faces thousands of dollars worth of fines from the city due to the graffiti. The city of Oakland requires the property owners to remove the graffiti, calling it a public nuisance that contributes to blight around the city. And those who fail to remove the graffiti in a timely manner face higher fines. Shirley says they're constantly cleaning the graffiti, but the taggers keep coming back.
So many times we clean, they come again. How do we do?
A city spokesperson says they don't offer financial assistance for graffiti abatement due to the city's severe budget crisis. But local community leaders are saying enough is enough.
We're going to take a look at a holistic approach.
Tony Trin with Oakland Chinatown Improvement Council says they're working with the city to reduce costs for citations against businesses. And over the next several months, the council will launch a graffiti abatement program and bring in artists to paint murals over the abatement. Most importantly, they're calling on the DA to prosecute offenders, hoping it will stop graffiti from taking place.
Historically, Chinatown has been the known spot for taggers, unfortunately. They know to come here because they know that their tags will stay because there's no enforcement.
And with no immediate changes by the city in the near future, community leaders will focus on cleanup efforts and hope that taggers will eventually be prosecuted for their actions.
This is not fair. The city should, and we will work with the city, should go after the criminals, the taggers who are committing this blight in the first place.
In Oakland, Pete Serratos, NBC Bay Area News.
Okay, well, I got you on the old selfie stick with the Osmo 5 so I can really stick the camera out the window as I'm driving, and you got a good hold on it. So this is a good view of us going through the tunnel here in Oakland. So yep, there's the Alameda College. I will roll this other window up. Even though I have the microphone on, it's always good to have a little bit of quiet inside the car. So yes, as we go over to Oakland, I'll stick the camera in the car for a minute because there is a red light here. I've been wanting to go to Oakland and film the war on graffiti. Now, I didn't bring my drone today because, well, that's got to be set up just right. The drone has to be set up just right. So we're just going to do handheld video of what catches my eye. Is that there used to be a beautiful Greyhound, a bus Greyhound station. And here's the problem with this side of the island. You see, everybody has to get through this tube to get on the freeway. And you don't want to block the intersection, be one of those people. But at the same breath, you don't want to lose your turn and have somebody like this get in your lane. So there is always that catch-22. Oh, there's, for all you people that don't live in California, there is the Alameda In-N-Out. And the only In-N-Out that ever closed was in Oakland. That's right. So Oakland had their In-N-Out closed, but Alameda still has theirs. So the reason that Oakland In-N-Out closed is because there was burglaries of employees and customers. The customers were getting robbed as they sat in the drive-through. So In-N-Out, you know, that place always has a line, and the drive-through, you don't move, so that's a good place to pick you off. So here we go. We are headed, remember, we are looking at the graffiti today, and you can see we're going into Oakland. We are not in Oakland yet. Alameda does a pretty good job of keeping the graffiti under the wraps, but as you can see, as soon as you spray over it, it comes back with a vengeance. But here are the people trying to get into the tunnel. So I will stick this camera out the window, and this is called the Alameda portal. So we have the Webster tube that we're going to drive into right here. I'll hold this camera real tight, and yeah, we're going into Oakland. Like I said, we got 4 bridges, drawbridges, and 2 tunnels. So you're going to go through one of them, and like I said, doesn't look like we're going to go through pretty fast. Usually you fly through here pretty quick. But I'll turn on my lights. It looks like there might be an accident. People are trying to get over. I don't know. Maybe they just see a little gap. See, this is what happens when you see a little gap. You leave a little bit of room around here as you're driving, people will pull in on you. So you almost have to leave no room for anybody. But you can see that other slow lane's not moving very fast, so people will cut you off to get into your little gap. So there's a fine line here of what kind of gap. There's the Alameda portal. All right, we are in. So you can drive your bicycle through here. And I don't know if I would want to be in here during fire. I don't see, you know, any much way out. There is a cool breeze going through here. I have the window open, so you do feel the breeze, but, and I don't think they allow cargo ships. Well, the cargo ships are right above us, believe it or not. But I don't think they let cargo containers, yeah, the trucks come through here. So anyway, there you go, the Alameda portal. So believe it or not, you are underneath water right now. That we're headed over to downtown Oakland. And the more development that they've been building Alameda out for a while. The more they build Alameda out, the more traffic gets through this tunnel. So, whoa, muscle car, I heard it. But you can hear that, that's an old, you see it, El Camino. I think that's what they called those back in the day. All right, well, traffic's not moving too fast, but you're getting a full glimpse of, we call this the Posey Tube, believe it or not. The Posey Tube. And sometimes it's really flying, and a lot of times it's just like this, just barely crawling. But you're getting the full, what do we want to call, I guess I should turn on my lights, no? Are they on? Yeah, they were on. I have my glasses on. But they were talking about getting another tube. I don't know how they submerge a tube. How do they build a tube? I don't know. I guess like they did this one, just bore underneath the bay. Well, there you go. I can see some light at the end of the tunnel. And as soon as we see a little bit of light, that'll be Oakland, California. Yep, so when you come to Oakland, lock your doors. It's not that bad. Not like the news says it is. But you just gotta, don't be stupid, as they say. You don't want to be walking around with fancy jewelry on, or, you know, flashy, you know, things, I guess. But here we go. Oakland, California. All right, we made it. Okay, so we are going to we are going to go to, where are we calling that? We are going to the old Greyhound station. So it's all by sense of smell or sense of taste. I'm not really sure how to get there. So, and like I said, I do have my one hand on the wheel and one hand on the selfie stick, and you can see that there is graffiti almost on every inch of wall. And some of these are beautiful art, and some of it is just straight up graffiti. So Oakland has a graffiti war. You see that garage door right there is all white, and that does not stay white very long. That is a war. Those people who own that building have to wake up and have a war on graffiti almost every day. So, yeah. But if you put on some kind of mural on your building like this over here, you will see that people like respect it. They respect the murals. The graffiti artists respect the murals. So, and that's kind of a street you really don't want to go down because it's Chinatown. It gets really busy here. So we're just gonna keep following the Oh yeah, that's like a street fair over there. Oh boy, I might have just stepped in it. All right, well, we're gonna make our way. See how they don't, the graffiti artists, they don't mess around here with the murals. The murals, I guess if you are a business owner, you paint a mural, but the graffiti artists still get on top of the roofs up there, or even on the, you know, see on the awning right there. So, okay, we're going. You gotta be careful in Oakland. Oh, that's why this street was so open, because it turns you right back to the one-way. All right. Well, you live and learn, but I guess I just learned. But you can see this graffiti gets a little bit of a pass, the murals on the wall. But see all that up there on the windows are all painted? The windows are painted white up there because the business owners are getting fined. Maybe I'll find that video I shot. The business owners are getting fined for having the graffiti not covered up. So here's that street fair I'm talking about. All right. Yeah, graffiti artists, so they have been finding the customers. You can see the graffiti on that store right there. It says Tubbs. Yeah. Okay, Oakland, Chinatown. You hear it. You see it. Guess I'm not going down this street. Well, I kind of ran into a can of worms, didn't I? Darn it. Oh well, you live and learn. Live and learn. I should have just stayed on the freeway. Or got on the freeway. All right, well, let me get to where I'm going. I don't want to go down the Posey Tube again. I don't want to go back to Alameda. So let me get to where I'm going, and I will start this video, I should say. All right. Cut. Well, howdy ho, good neighbor. It is apparent that I am at the graffiti-free, that's right, graffiti-free old In-N-Out Burger. That's right. I don't know if that's sign language, but that means old In-N-Out Burger. Let me take you over here. As you can see here in Oakland, that is the old, that's right, Walmart. Walmart is closed down. Too much crime in Oakland in this Hagenberger Triangle. That's what we call this, Hagenberger Triangle. And right here is the graffiti-free In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out still owns this building, so they're paying a full-time security guard 24 hours a day to keep this building graffiti-free. So you'll see graffiti almost every part of Oakland, but not here at this location. 24 hours a day. If you want a building to stay white like this, well, you are gonna have to pay a security guard. Let's see if there was one little piece of graffiti up here at one time. And is it still there? It was behind that tree, I don't see it. But this is the old In-N-Out Burger. So if you think you're gonna have an In-N-Out Burger here in Oakland, yeah, there's still a little bit of graffiti behind that. But all this is graffiti free. Look at this. We'll go ahead and walk this whole building. All this old In-N-Out, the graffiti free. So if you want a building to stay white, you either need to paint it yourself once a week or have a full-time security guard. Look at that. In-N-Out. That's what a hamburger is all about. Not anymore. Not in Oakland. You're not going to have a hamburger. And you're just going to have security. They even have a, what do you call that? I'm putting it in quotes, a fake security here. So you got the full timer, and then behind them you got the truck. There it is, the old In-N-Out. They got rid of the old palm trees. This car line used to be full of people. Not anymore. Crime has killed In-N-Out. Look at even the streets got weeds. All these streets are full of weeds. So here's the graffiti I'm talking about. So Oakland, you lost the war on graffiti. Even though you're still fighting it, it's kind of like, it's almost like all wars. They must go on. All wars must go on. And these are the people that they're fighting against. Yep, you can see where they painted over it at one time and they just come back the next day. So there's just a nice clean patch for the next person. Looks like Toyota's always doing their patching up. But there you go. This is what Oakland looks like before I end you with a do. Look at the trash, look at the buckets. I don't even want to kick that bag. You don't know what's in it. But there you go. All this used to be full of customers, In-N-Out customers. Not anymore. So if you want a building with no graffiti in Oakland, you're gonna have to either paint it every day, maybe every week, or you're gonna have to get a full-time security guard. Let's go ahead and get a selfie stick of them. There you go. Full-time security guard of the In-N-Out Oakland location. That's right. So maybe In-N-Out has hopes that Oakland will straighten its act out someday. I don't know. I don't know what it's thinking. But it's definitely one of the only buildings without graffiti in all of Oakland. One of the few, like I said, you got to either keep it up yourself or paint it every day. Well, as always, I want to thank you again for coming along with me on these Oakland's War on Graffiti adventures. You know the drill. Peace, love, and all that hippie jazz. Bye-bye, everybody. Yeah, there's cameras everywhere around here, too. Maybe that's a screenshot.